Hey there, and welcome to Wine Inspired Blind Tasting Friday. So I'm very excited about today because it is the first episode where I get to teach you all about blind tasting wine. Clearly I'm still in the holiday spirit, but that's great too. So, what is this class all about? I want to show you the best ways to understand blind tasting. So blind tasting wine just means you have no idea what's in the glass and you're trying to figure it out. So some people may have seen people blind taste or seen sommeliers blind taste and they're just amazed by it. How does one achieve these powers? So I'm here to show you. So the beauty of it is it's very attainable. You can really learn how, and I'm going to show you the necessary skills to develop your palate, develop your nose, and really give you a guide on what to look for when you're blind tasting. So enough talking, let's get into it. I have no idea what's in this glass. Went to the wine shop, asked the lovely gentleman behind the counter to pick me out a wine, cover it up, don't tell me anything about it, and he was great. So I have no idea what is in this glass. And we're going to look at a few things to really help us understand what is in the glass. The sight. That's what we're going to start with. We're going to look at the visual characteristics of the wine. So let's do it. Just from your angle here, it looks pretty dark, right? So this would be an example of a purple color wine. And then if I even tilt the glass and try to see my fingers, can't see a thing. So purple, deeply concentrated. So basically we know that it's a really thick-skinned grape variety. So thick-skinned grape varieties can be Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Malbec, Syrah. They typically give off a deeper color wine. So we know we might be working with one of those. But next we want to smell the wine. And when you smell the wine, you can really pick out a lot of characteristics that will help guide you in certain directions. Let's take a smell. All right. So this one is pretty intense. I'm getting a lot of aromas right off the bat. And then when you want to think about aromas, you want to break it down into fruit. So what fruit are you smelling? And with this one, it's very dark fruit and dark blackberry, black cherry, currants. And the fruits are very ripe. So it's a ripe, dark fruit, almost roasted kind of smelling. And then when I also stuck my nose in there, I noticed there was a savoriness. There was almost a bacon and peppery quality. And that's really something to look for, those non-fruit aromas. Let's give it one more smell and really find everything we can from it. Yeah, there's a coffee, there's a cocoa, there's a black chocolate. So a lot of that going on too. I would also say you want to think about, has the wine seen oak? So this wine has seen some new oak usage as well. That's a good thing to look for when you're thinking about the savory elements and the vanilla and that dark chocolate kind of aroma. You can know that the wine was put into an oak barrel. Now the fun part, let's taste it. All right, so this is where you really start to kind of rule out some things or figure out what the wine might be. When I tasted this wine, I got a lot of the same fruits. I got a lot of the same blackberry, black cherry, currants, all very ripe. And then I got that oak. I got that spiciness. I got that dark chocolate, all of that going on as well. And there wasn't really a lot of what's called minerality. So minerality is that part of wine that it's something of a earthiness, especially in reds, that kind of funkiness, barnyard kind of thing. And this wine is really just dominated by all the fruit, all those kind of smoky, peppery, savory elements, and oak. Beautiful. So we kind of know the flavor. Let's take one more sip, just for good measure, and also to really feel the physical presence of the wine on our palate, because that's where we're going to start breaking down even more and trying to understand what's in the glass. All right. So when you're thinking about the structure of the wine, you want to look at a few different factors. Is the wine dry or sweet? So this wine is dry. That means although it's very ripe and robust and rich tasting, it's not off dry. It's not sweet. It's just very flavorful. So you can say the wine is dry. And then the acid. What's the acid like? It's kind of a technical term for, is your mouth watering or is it just really kind of dry and flabby once you taste a wine? So this one is moderate. There's really not a lot of acid kind of cleansing the palate and refreshing the palate. So we'll say medium. And then the body here, that's a big keyword. So is the body light, kind of really not a lot of presence on your palate? Is it medium, kind of more mouth-filling, or is it very full? Is it heavy? I would say this is full body. There's certainly a presence here. And then the next thing you want to ask yourself is that famous word that some of us know what it means, some of us don't know what it means, and it's a tannin. What are tannins and why do those matter, right? So a tannin is it's a phenolic compound. I know, technical word, but it's a phenolic compound that's found in a couple different places, but mostly the skins of the grape, and it reveals itself in the wine by kind of this drying sensation on your palate. So a tannin is something that dries you out. It's that almost like sandpaper on the roof of your mouth, that textural element that could be sometimes seen as bitterness. But that's a tannin. And some wines have a lot, some don't have very many, and some have a medium amount. I would say this is a medium amount of tannin. And the tannins here are very rounded. They're very smooth. So they've been worked with oak and really tried to be rounded out from what I can tell. And let's see, what else are we going to look at when we're tasting the structure here? You also can think about the finish and the alcohol. So is it a low alcohol wine, meaning you're really not getting a lot of burn, and it's kind of that burn on your throat is indicating higher alcohol. So this one is medium plus to high alcohol, and it's a lingering finish. All that alcohol and that fruit and that ripeness is hitting me on the finish. All right, you can either take one more sip, which I think is always a good idea, or you can just start going into your conclusion. So what are we going to put together in terms of what we think it is based off of all those different clues we just found out from the wine? Let's take one more sip, just in case. All right, let's do it. So, initial conclusion. You want to ask yourself, is this wine from the old world or the new world? New world just means it's coming from either the United States or Australia or South Africa or South America, kind of New Zealand, places like that. Or is it old world, where you have, say, your Europe and, well, just Europe, kind of old world wine. And I'm going to go New World with this one. I feel like this is from a warmer climate. I feel like it's from a country that really puts emphasis on big, bold, flavorful wines. So there we go there. And next big thing is it from an age range of like 1 to 3 years? Is it older? What do we think the age range is? So because this wine was still very colorful, it didn't lose any of its pigmentation, and the rim is another good way to figure that out, was still very vibrant and purple. we're going to say this is youthful, so 1 to 3 years. So we know that, and now's the time where you start throwing out some grape varieties. What grape do you think this is? Let's name a few. What kind of family of grapes this could be. Say Syrah or Shiraz, Cabernet Sauvignon, or Malbec. I would say those are my 3 kind of possibilities here that I think the wine could be. Coming from the Shiraz from Australia, the Cabernet Sauvignon from Napa or California or the United States, and then the Malbec from Argentina, from Mendoza area. And then this is the time where you either look really cool or really not. Let's see how I did. So my final conclusion is I believe this to be a 2015. I think it's a Syrah or Shiraz from Australia, from South Australia, from, I'm going to go Barossa here. So that is what I believe the wine to be. And now, what is the wine? What is it? Okay. All right. So I was kind of close. I was pretty much in the right ballpark here. So although it's not from Australia, this is a Syrah, Shiraz they call it in Australia, but this is a Syrah. It's a little bit older than I thought, so it's 2013, and it is coming from Columbia Valley. So it's coming from Washington State. But really cool thing about this wine, it was 14.5, so it had a nice bit of alcohol, really gave off those New World characteristics, and it's called the She-Devil. So I guess that's what it is. And I will give you a little bit more of a breakdown on the wine and what I thought about it and things like that below, so you can check that out. But hopefully you learned a little bit more about how to blind taste. I'll be coming to you every Friday to really help you understand it. So happy tasting, and I hope to see you next week where we'll be exploring another wine that I really know nothing about, but I will try to guess what it is and teach you in the process. So stay wine inspired.